Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's Town Hall for DragonCon 2021. I'm your host, Katelyn, from the DC social media team, and this is my first time hosting a Town Hall, and I am so excited to be here and for what we have in store for you this evening. But everyone, first, please give a virtual round of applause to our ASL interpreter, Teddy. Thank you so much for being here tonight and stepping up for the community. Now, everyone, we are officially 28 days away from DragonCon. It's less than a month away. That's not a drill. So make sure to stay tuned on all our social media platforms for more information in the weeks to come. But before we get started, I have some exciting news. I've been told DCTV has a new streaming service available for the 2021 season. This service has all the DC content you could want. And guess what? It's only $10 for the convention season. That's such an amazing deal. Make sure to follow the link below and get some more information about signing up. I know what I'm definitely doing once this town hall is over. Now, we have such an incredible panel of guests today. First, Stephen Granade, from the director of the Science Track. Say hi, Steve.
Hi, Katelyn. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here. And then we have Alex Bardos, the Director of Volunteer Systems.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And then last but not least, Sue Phillips, the Director of the Sci-Fi Literature Track.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Is everyone so excited for DragonCon?
I did have when you said 28 days, a little bit of panic. It's all cool.
No panicking. No panicking. It's all smooth sailing. Right, guys?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully everyone can stick around at the end. We will have a Q&A session, and make sure you get all your comments down below, and we'll try to get to as many as we can, all right? Make sure you comment on Discord, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the platforms. We want to know all your questions. Now, are we ready? Let's go. Also, real quick, if you haven't checked out our progress report until now, make sure you go ahead and check that out because it has a lot of great information that we will be covering tonight for each of our tracks. Absolutely. Now, is everyone ready? Let's bring on Stephen Granade back on, the director of the Science Track. Stephen, how are you?
I'm doing really well. How about you?
I'm doing great. Now, okay, director of the Science Track. Science at the science fiction convention. What is that like?
It's more likely than you expect. It's actually really good. And one of the things that pulled me in, I started out at DragonCon helping out with tech ops and doing the AV stuff because I have a theater background. So I would run, sound cables and work rope lines and the like. But then started using some of my physics background to get involved in the science track. And what I really like is that there are a lot of folks at DragonCon who really enjoy science and science fiction. And there are a lot of scientists and science communicators who also are a big fan of science fiction and fantasy and horror and all of those sorts of genres. And so it's a chance for us to bring everybody together and talk about the really cool things that are going on, not only in science, but how that is reflected in our media.
That is so exciting. So you have events like Let's Make the Time Variance Authority and Why Does Nature Like Crabs? How are you balancing the science and the fiction in that?
Well, what we try to do is have a blend of topics and approaches. There are a lot of people who are interested in very focused science ideas, which is why we talk about, for example, why nature just sort of keeps reinventing crabs. We're going to have a panel on kill all mosquitoes, because mosquitoes carry a lot of disease, but also are an important part of the ecosystem. And there's some really interesting both science and ecology and ethical debates about what do you do about that. At the same time, we really enjoy a lot of media, which is why we're going to be doing a talk about time travel and the Time Variance Authority and the way that time travel shows up in different shows. We'll talk about sort of scientific concepts that show up in fantasy literature. And then we just have like science-themed fun. We have a long-running variety show, for example, Solve for X, where we have musical acts and storytelling and force people to do PowerPoint karaoke where they have to improvise a talk to a set of slides that they have never before seen in their life.
Wow, that is so cool. I cannot wait to see how you combine all those different things into just one event. That's so exciting. So, I heard some Star Trek science advisors have snuck onto your track. Is that true?
Yes, we have two of the current science advisors from Star Trek, Dr. Aaron McDonald and Dr. Mohammed Noor. They do a lot of talks on the Trek track. They do some talks for me on the science track. They're really great. They've been doing some really wonderful work with Discovery, with Lower Decks coming back soon, and a certain Nickelodeon show that has just been announced here recently.
A certain show. That is so cool. I imagine just being able to talk with them. I'm sure you guys just will bust out into so much Star Trek knowledge. Like, how did this work? How did this work? How did this work?
Oh, they absolutely put me to shame on all of that.
Oh, that's so exciting. So I know you have an event, Science versus Movies. I understand you show some movie clips to science communicators and force them to comment on them.
Yes. Well, it sort of grew out of long-running like YouTube series like Cinema Sins, where people sit back and they go, grump, grump, grump. Here's everything that's wrong with what's going on. And I really wanted to flip that on its head. So what I do is curate clips from movies, old and new, and show them to the audience, have the audience ask their science questions about the clips, and then the science communicators have to explain why the science shown on screen is 100% correct. Outrunning cold and The Day After Tomorrow, absolutely correct. Jellicle cats, real taxonomy of cats. They have to come up with a reason why it is correct.
There's no way. Do you have one off the top of your head that you can think of that you're super excited to hear about?
You mean in Science versus Movies or just in general on the science? In Science versus Movies, Nicolas Cage is always a good go-to, and he was in a recent movie where he gets to unleash jujitsu on aliens. So I'm very excited about the possibilities of that.
Jujitsu on aliens. Huh.
It'll be hard to find. It's called jujitsu.
Jujitsu. That does sound very, very hard to find. And I'm just sitting here trying to think about how that's going to work. And I am super excited to hear your scientists try to figure out how that's going to work.
It is fun to watch them suffer.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, thank you so much. For all the people out there, do you know where they can find more information about your track, where the events are, where they're located, more details?
The best place to connect with us is on the official DragonCon Discord. There is a channel there, Science Track Discuss. We have a community that is very active in there, discussing science topics in general and what's going to be going on at the show in specific. We'd love to have you on that channel.
That sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much, Stephen. And will you be able to stick around for Q&A at the end?
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect. Now, everyone, remember, please put your questions in the comments for Stephen and all the rest of our amazing panelists. And Stephen, I'll see you at the end.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Now, we have another really exciting guest. We have Sue Phillips, the director of the Sci-Fi Literature Track. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Katelyn.
How are you today?
I am very good. How about you?
I'm good. Are you excited for DragonCon? Are you ready for it?
I am. After the last year, I need some fanish content in my life.
Don't we all? Don't we all at this point? Now, I'm going to start with a very, very serious question. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Dune?
I have to say it's more like an 8.5 right now.
Okay.
I'm excited, but I was very excited for the David Lynch version that came out years ago, and I was kind of disappointed. So I'm kind of hedging my bets here about the new version. It looks great. I like the casting. It's just, we'll see.
We'll see. Well, as a person who has never read Dune and just seen the trailers, I know that it looks great from my perspective, but I would love to hear once it's out from your perspective how different it is and what you would have preferred. That would be such great to hear.
I would be happy to let you know when the movie comes out. Unfortunately, the movie I don't think is supposed to be out till October. So, yeah.
You know what? We might just have to do a special thing where we just hear your comments. We just might have to. I can't wait until next year. I can't.
I'd be happy to if you want to.
Sounds great. Now, can you tell us about the literary guest of honor? I hear it's a mean DJ.
Oh, he is. He is. I have not personally experienced his DJ capabilities, but I understand he is very good at it. His name is John Scalzi. And there he is.
Ooh.
And he's known for books like Old Man's War and Red Shirts, which kind of takes the Star Trek Red Shirt thing and turns it on its head. He's a great writer, and I'm looking forward to meeting him in person.
Oh, that's so exciting. I can't wait to hear more about it. So, I have to know, can you give us any hints about Dungeons & Dragons Live? Please, please, please.
I don't have any details right now. John Hartnett is the dungeon master. He's setting this up. He's planning to put our writers through their paces, which includes our guest of honor, John Scalzi.
Oh, wow.
And 4 other writers who will be playing with him. And I understand he's a very good DM. He lives in North Carolina, so I don't have the opportunity to game with him. But
can you tell us when that will be during the event?
that will be. I'm sorry. That will be on Saturday 8:30, I believe.
No worries.
PM.
No worries. 8:30 p.m. Saturday. Yeah. Sounds great.
I'm so sorry. I should be prepared. And
no, it is all good, because where can people find other information?
Well, right now the best place is our DragonCon SF Literature, Sci-Fi Literature group on Facebook. You can also email us at sflit@dragoncon.org. And we're working on other social media platforms at the moment.
That's perfect. So, besides Dungeons & Dragons Live, I know you have some really exciting other events planned. Can you tell us about some of them?
Oh, well, one thing we like to do is mix up the serious panels along with fun and game shows. We have our Sci-Fi Jeopardy, which we do every year, in the Jeopardy format. Books, movies, the answers that you have to provide questions to come from all over. We do Starship Showdown, which is kind of like a basketball brackets, and we decide the audience gets to vote on which of the 2 starships in a bracket would win if they ever encounter each other.
Oh, now real quick, who is your favorite to win this year for Starship?
Well, if we don't get the Borg in there, I'm going to go with the Relentless. I think it's the Relentless from the Honor Harrington book series. Super dreadnought, a lot of weapons, and very formidable.
Very formidable. Well, I cannot wait to hear who wins. I might play some bets. That'd be great.
I wish we could bet, but
it's just a personal bet. Just me.
Yeah, I know.
So what other events do you have?
We are doing something called Design an Alien, in which I have scientists and an artist, and with input from the audience, like what kind of environment would this alien live in, they create what such a creature would look like. Would it breathe methane? And if it did, what kind of breathing apparatus would it have? And that sort of thing.
Oh, that's so cool. So it breathes just pure hydrogen and lives on Mars, and then they would have to design what that looked like.
Right. And I have a biologist on my panel,
Oh, that's
and a
so
couple
cool.
of real scientists. So Stephen Granade was a great help with populating that panel for me.
Ooh, well, hopefully we can get a little bit more hints when we have our Q&A a little bit later. Now, I heard you have a really exciting interview coming up.
Well, yes, we did this virtually. Will McCarthy is a really good
so cool.
writer. He does hard science. In fact, he has, I believe, an engineering background. Some of the things he posits in his books are being developed as we speak. I understand.
Really?
Take that with a grain of salt. I may be wrong about that, but they are being looked at any rate. And I really like his stuff. He manages to write hard science without being too, I say dense. In other words, I can understand it because I don't have the same background he does. So.
No, that's so exciting. I cannot wait to hear more about it. Now, real quick, I know we mentioned it before, but can you repeat where people can find more information about your track?
They can email me at sflit@dragoncon.org or go to our Facebook page, DragonCon Sci-Fi Literature. And I think that's DCSF Lit on Facebook.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sue, for coming. Will you be available to come afterwards for the Q&A session?
I sure will.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now, everyone, remember, please have your questions in the comments. We have so many awesome panelists today. We want to get all the questions we can. All right, Sue, I'll see you after.
See you later.
Okay, now, our final guest. We have Alex Bardos from Volunteer Systems. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
How
It's
are
good
you
to see you today?
Well,
I am
good to
great
see
today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just getting more and more pumped every second for DragonCon. I cannot wait.
Me too.
Perfect. Now, we wanted to bring you on because everyone knows the volunteers are the key to DragonCon being such a success. And we wanted to give you the platform to talk more about how people can join. But before that, we want to know, how did you start your volunteer journey?
You know, years ago, I was living in Atlanta as a normal sort of introvert, and I'd been coming to DragonCon for nearly a decade at that point. And I don't want to say I was getting bored, but I felt like I had seen a lot of what DragonCon had to offer.
Mhm.
And I decided I wanted to get involved and to give back so that other folks who are coming in later could have that same experience. So I went down to one of the meetings and I signed up with Tech Ops because I thought that sounded like fun. And I may have understated how fun it was. So my first year, I did a lot of running around. And then the next year, I was in charge of a ballroom.
Wow.
And, so then, the thing about DragonCon is there's always an opportunity. When people say that DragonCon is by the fans, for the fans, that's not quite capturing it, because it is literally the most fan-oriented convention I know of. And I work a lot of conventions. So over time, what I wanted to do shifted. And like I said, I wanted to help give back and give other people that experience. So I went with a few folks and we started a couple new departments, one of which is Volunteer Systems. And our mission is to maintain the database of volunteers and make sure that volunteers get where they're needed. And so that's what I do. If you, there's a couple of us, myself and Richard Sanders, the Director of Volunteers, and our teams. We make sure that volunteers are where they are needed and that folks can get to the departments that they want to work with.
That's so good. Do you have a favorite memory from your time of volunteering? I know that's such a big question, but do you have one that just sticks out?
Possibly the time that I stole a Tony Gowell title card, and I need to get it autographed, but he doesn't know that, so I hope he's not watching.
I don't think he is. He doesn't watch this. Never. Oh my gosh.
Oops.
Well, we'll definitely have to, in the person event, make sure he signs that.
Oh, for sure.
Now, what are the requirements to be a volunteer, and are there any perks?
Yeah, so the base requirement is that you be at least 18 years old.
Okay.
Your first year, there's a $20 first year volunteer fee. You only pay that the first time you volunteer, and even if you take years off, you never have to pay that again. So you could take 10 years off. You're still in the system. You're still counted. And the other things really are, a great attitude and an expectation to work about 20 to 25 hours, depending on your department. And that's across the entire show, all 5 days. Possibly even earlier if you're working with load in and helping set things up. But those are the requirements. Nothing too crazy. And in exchange for that, you get some cool things. First of all, you get a T-shirt, and I know everybody loves T-shirts.
I love a free T-shirt.
I have to brag on the folks at the office because they pick the most comfy T-shirts. They are just ridiculously soft, and it's delightful.
Right.
I get excited.
I have one I just love to just go to sleep in. It's the most comfortable thing ever. They pick really great quality T-shirts.
They are fantastic. They're my favorite T-shirts of the year. Some other things you get are like our Volunteer Appreciation Day, which is not during DragonCon. This is a separate thing usually during spring, where we go on an adventure. So next year we'll be going to the Georgia Aquarium, and it'll be a special day, free admission to the aquarium, and everybody who works this year can go to that, or anyone who signs up for it next year can go to that and have that experience with your other fellow DragonCon volunteers. You get a cool lanyard. The lanyard for volunteering is not the same as the lanyard that you might pick up in the DragonCon store. That's something special and unique. You get access to our volunteer village, which is on the 10th floor of the Marriott.
Oh, so nice.
And I particularly love that because they've got snacks and drinks, and that's one of the few places in the Marriott you'll find actual sofas that are there during the convention, and you can just go sprawl out and chill. And the biggest perk of all is you get to be a part of making Labor Day great for so many fans.
Oh, I can attest to all those perks. As a volunteer myself, it is so rewarding being a part of DragonCon, and hopefully everyone keeps joining. Now, are there current areas with openings?
Yeah.
And where can more people find out more information about it?
Yes, there are definitely openings. So we have several big departments that always need people, and those are our tech ops departments. Those are the folks you see in the ballrooms running the sound gear, the lighting gear, and making sure that things show up on the screens. That was my first department. It's near and dear to my heart. I go help those guys every year, even though I have my own department. Safety always needs folks, and that's a great department to come into if you want to work up and really see, the fans and interact closely with them. Our registration department typically needs folks. The cool thing there is you get to see literally everyone that comes into the show goes through registration, and a lot of them come through in costume, and you get a great up close view at them when they come through. But then we also have smaller groups that are looking for folks. Like right now, I know there's a couple folks needed for our room census department or for our digital media track. All told, DragonCon has about 120 departments, and while not all of them are recruiting at all times, a lot of them are typically. So especially like earlier in the year when you come to the meetings and you see folks, directors who are needing folks, it's a great way to meet people, and find a department that fits you.
That's amazing. Wow, 120 different areas to volunteer in. Oh my goodness. There are so many options. Can you give any advice on how a volunteer could just pick one?
That's a big question, but what it comes down to is like, what are you good at, and what do you feel you can do best to encourage others and to build the show for yourself and for others. So a lot of folks start off with tech or safety because those are great introduction points. But from there, it's really what you are good at and what you want to do, to find, your home that you're going to volunteer with for years. We have folks who, once they pick a department, they've been with that department for 20 plus years. because that's just their home at DragonCon, you know?
That's amazing. 20 years. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for coming and stopping by. Real quick again, where can people go to find more information about volunteer systems?
So I saw there was a bit.ly link down at the bottom. There you go. Or if you're just on dragoncon.org, you can click participate and then be a volunteer, and you will find an FAQ and links to sign up right there.
Perfect. Now, everyone, we're still taking questions. So if you have any questions for Alex, please submit them below. Alex, would you be able to stay around and attend our Q&A?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you so much. See you in a minute. All right. Thank you, everyone. I see some questions are building up. I can't wait for everyone to answer them. So I know we do have... Oh, hello?
What?
Hello.
Hey, I didn't see. Hey, Katelyn, what's going on?
It's Crispy, everybody.
Get this egg off my face here. Didn't realize I was going to be on camera soon. So, hey, everybody. Oh, yeah. So glad to see you. Thank you for having me. I got some cool news to drop, though. I just got some stuff. Yeah, taking a break from my sci-fi lit reading here, just to kind of dig in and get you some fun news. We got some cool announcements, some guest announcements. You want to talk about that?
I would love to. I don't know if everyone else does, though.
No, I mean, if no one,
we'll give it to them anyway.
No, it's fine. We don't want to talk about the that's not fine.
That's
but
fine.
I do, because I'm really excited because we've got some guests from actually like one of my favorite shows on Amazon Prime right now. And you might know that we've had some before from the show, but now we've got some brand new additions to the DragonCon family guest lineup from The Boys. So we're going to drop some news about The Boys guests. So you want to hear who we've got coming from The Boys?
Yes, please.
Awesome. I'm going to get some love from Mel here. Mel, thank you. We got Tomer Cap on. Frenchie here. Lovely Tomer.
Wow.
And one of our many guests that are showing up. And next up, we have Dominique McElliglot. McElliglot. I apologize there, Dominique. She is also, I believe, first time here. Also Helen Wheels. Fantastic actress. And then after that, we have Jesse Usher from The Boys. I absolutely love Jesse in the Shaft movie that he did with everyone. And Laz Alonso, also from The Boys. So we've got an impressive turnout from The Boys coming. I hope you're all excited for that.
I am so excited.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Oh my goodness.
Your silent reverence is beautiful. Yeah, it's gonna be a great lineup for these guests, you know.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Well, thank you for just stopping on by and dropping some incredible information.
I mean, I haven't left this room in the past year, really. So
me either.
So like I've just been ready for the show to start, and I realized earlier we're 28 days away, and I'm gonna kind of go scream backstage about that because holy crap, it's only 28 days away.
No,
we'll see you soon,
allowed.
Right?
Only screams of joy.
It's so much joy. I'm hoping to see people that show up. I'm really excited to be there in 4 weeks.
Me too. I can't wait to see you there, Crispy.
Oh, you'll see me there. I can't wait to see you as well, Katelyn.
All right. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to bring back all of our incredible guests for our Q&A session. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. Is everyone ready for the hard-hitting questions?
Is this the lightning round?
Slight, but first, I have a question of my own. So, this is for Stephen and Sue. For all of those who get confused every year, can you explain the difference between the science track and the sci-fi lit track? Please.
Sue, you want to take a swing at that?
I'll try. The science fiction literature track deals with mostly fiction, fiction that is based in science. Whereas in my view, and Stephen can correct me, the science track is more about the actual real life science and how things work. Does that sound good?
I think it does. And it's a little complicated because science can reach out and be involved in a bunch of different areas within the convention. So we have, for example, science-themed panels that I know the video game track are doing. Sue mentioned the one about Build an Alien, where scientists from the science track will be involved in that. So the borders are porous.
They are.
Oh, wow. Okay. That makes so much more sense, everyone. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And, that wasn't, someone other person who didn't know the difference, not anyone sitting in this room right now. No, not
Asking
at
for a
all.
friend.
All right. So are we ready for some questions now from the audience? Perfect. Okay. From Shannon Dickinson at Facebook. Are they going to be doing a live telescope this year?
Yes, they are. So every year over at the Hilton, the Space Track has solar telescopes set up. So during the day, you can go under a nice tent and look through a telescope and look at the live surface of the sun. You can see sunspots moving across it. You can see solar prominences as they fire off. It's really cool, and it's happening again this year.
Oh my goodness. That is so exciting. I can't wait. All right, let's hear another question. Stephen Burge at Facebook. Any advice for first-time DragonCon attendees? And I'm going to open this up to everyone. Any advice?
I would say hydrate,
Yes.
especially in
key.
Atlanta weather. It can get very hot, and we don't want anyone collapsing
No, please don't.
during the convention.
Please don't.
I would definitely echo hydrate, but also, don't try to do everything. You're going to see so many things you want to go do, but you can't stress about it. You just got to go with the flow, and where you wind up is where you wind up, and you're going to enjoy it no matter what.
Simple answer to that. Just clone yourself, and then you'll have
Right.
two of you to do everything.
That's our track.
Stephen, this can happen, right?
Right.
That's science.
Right? Right? Hey, I have 2 science directors here confirming, so you might see my clone this year, guys.
And the other thing I will say is really be open to serendipity. Some of my favorite memories from DragonCon have come from things I wasn't intending to do, events I went into because I was in the hotel and I thought, well, we'll see if this is interesting. And it really was. Gatherings I didn't know were happening. So that's sort of the flip side of you can't see everything. Sometimes what you weren't expecting to see and be part of is what stays with you the longest.
That's all really great advice. And I actually have my own piece of advice. Please eat and sleep. Please.
Yes.
Please don't just eat like Nutri-Grain bars. Don't eat just small things. Eat an actual meal. And please at least get somewhat of sleep. Don't sleep for 2 hours for the entire event. Please and thank you. Perfect. Now, can we get another question? Eddie, I apologize, Ratinasok, I am so sorry if I butchered that, at Facebook, can Marvel be considered sci-fi? Ooh, this is a great question, as I have my Thanos gauntlet behind me. Can it be considered sci-fi?
Well, to go along with that, I am doing a panel called "Superheroes as Science Fiction." This is not based on Marvel or DC because there are a number of good books out there that have superhero people who have gained powers in one way or another as their protagonists. So that's what we'll be discussing.
That I will be there. I will be first in line. I will be there. I cannot wait. Oh, that's
to
amazing.
actually answer the question, yes, I think Marvel can be sci-fi.
I vote yes. Everyone take a vote. Yes.
Yes.
I'm in for yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All right. So we've declared it. Marvel is sci-fi. I wish I had a judge gavel so we could case dismissed. All right. Next question. At Raka at Discord, can I request a goose fact?
What is that?
I mean, as a physicist, I feel like I should be able to speak to goose facts.
Please.
And weirdly enough, I can. My background is in sensors and especially vision and computer vision. And so I happen to know that geese have very good long distance sight and in fact can see partially into the ultraviolet. So the colors that they see and the way that the world is lit is slightly different from ours because they see the shorter wavelengths of light than we do. And then finally, the best way if you wish to attract geese to your house or apartment is to put a large golden bell outside and wait for them to steal it.
Really?
These are science facts.
A golden, does it have to be a bell?
It does have to be a bell, yes.
Okay. I have so many more questions about this,
They
but
will-
I might wait until after so I can quiz you for an hour on why it has to be a bell.
That's fair.
They will also put rakes in lakes if you let them.
The references
I-
here are to a game called Untitled Goose Game, which is tremendously fun.
Ah,
But the vision facts are actually true. That is an actual
Okay.
goose fact that I happen to know.
You're going to make me go get a golden bell and put outside my door. I would have had egg on my face.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Well, what great information. All right, the
Oh,
next
no,
question.
It's
Go
all
ahead.
geese today.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna move
Yonk.
on. Oh no, it's another one. Honk. Can everyone give your best honk?
Oh, I absolutely can. Yonk.
Yonk.
Honk.
Come on, Alex. You have to give your best honk.
I did one.
You did
Oh,
one.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry. And that's all the time we have. I don't have time for my honk. So next question. Oh, they're making me do it. Honk.
Very understated, very classy.
Thank you. I felt like it was a more dramatic honk, a little bit more, how do you say, theater-esque. Thank you.
Gravitas.
Can we please get the next question? Blaine White at Facebook. Are there any volunteers needs Monday through Wednesday? So the week before the event.
Yes. Actually, there typically are, and those are in a couple of our departments that do setup. So, for example, Tech Ops is there. They start early. I think they're starting Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Okay.
You can email them. They'll have more details on that. Also, we have a load in, load out department. I know they are extremely busy on Wednesday. So definitely, like, if you're interested in working those days, reach out to a couple of those setup and breakdown departments, and they will definitely steer you in the right direction.
Perfect. That sounds amazing. Thank you so much. Next question, please. Virginia Foster at Facebook. How many of your content will be online for those of us who can't attend? Now, I believe I can answer this question. I know we do have some virtual content over at DCTV, and if someone in the chat could put some more information about where you can find where all the different virtual content will be. I know we'll also have some content on the social media team if you'd like to follow us on all platforms, because I know we'll have different types of content on different platforms. So make sure to keep an eye out. There's tons of content everywhere. You don't have to be just attending to get some great DragonCon content this year. Perfect. Do you guys have any virtual content coming out this year?
I have at least one panel that's going to be on our YouTube channel on pulp writers, the 40s and 50s Doc Savage type of stuff. We're working on a couple of others, but right now, that's it for me.
Perfect.
And we've got two that will be going out on streaming. One on the unhelpful legacy of the mad scientist trope, how that has not helped science and also not helped with the actual issues that science has caused from time to time. And to counterbalance that, we also have the Fast and the Furious science.
Okay. I'm definitely going to need some more information on the Fast and Furious science. I heard
All
they go
NOS
to
containers, just big bottles of NOS.
huge bottles of NOS. I don't want to spoil anything, but I heard they reach new heights in this film.
They do.
Perfect. And I also got some more information. DCTV will be streaming all the major ballrooms, and all the fan tracks will be submitting content for the fan track channel. So make sure to keep an eye out on that. Perfect. Ryan Maltese at YouTube. Question for Stephen. Is there any chemistry-based events planned for this year?
We will not be doing our hands-on science that we have done in years past. Just the logistics we were not able to work those out. But we will have chemistry sprinkled throughout a number of different panels that we're going to be doing. We're doing one talking about Army of the Dead, and I expect there will be a lot about chemistry and biology and the overlap there to make slow zombies and fast zombies and zombie tigers. And for the first time in a related topic, we're going to have a panel discussing material science and what it is and how it reaches out into a number of different scientific disciplines. I've had a number of material scientists on the track for a couple of years, and I'm excited to put them all on a panel and force them to talk about it, because material science is super cool.
Every time every one of you opens your mouths, my day's getting more and more full with cool panels to see. I cannot wait. Like I said, I have to clone myself, and you two already verified I could, so I'll have to make 3 of me. I can't wait. So can we get another question? Chad Luchaman, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names, everybody, at YouTube. Do the guests have the photos of them that they sign for the people, or do we need to bring our own materials for them to sign? That is a great question.
My experience has been that they have photos available, but a lot of them will sign, things that you bring as well. That's all I can tell you.
That's been my experience as well. I do think it's cool, though, if you have something that's personal to you that you can bring for them to sign, like a DVD case, a CD cover, whatever it might be. I think that would be more precious in the long run. So definitely check out. There will be more information on our DragonCon.com for the updates and everything like that. And I'm getting more further information. Provided that whatever the fan brings is something appropriate and good taste. So please don't bring anything weird or inappropriate for them to sign, because it will most likely not be signed. Deal? Okay. Can we have another question? Kathy Plummenbow, where do sci-fi movies fit? Here, or do they have their own track?
Stephen?
There are a couple of different tracks for science fiction movies and TV, depending on how current they are. For example, we have the American Science Fiction Media Classics track that covers a lot of the older stuff. I am unfortunately blanking on some of the ones that cover the newer topics. There's 35 of us, and so of course the moment you ask me, it falls out of my head. I'm very sorry.
I know that High Fantasy will be covering things like Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time, the new show that's coming out, and things like that. I am blanking on the rest of them as well.
Yeah, what I end up doing is, when I'm interested in a property like that, is once the app has dropped all the schedule, is I search for it and see where that is happening. And that's typically how then I can figure out where the tracks are.
Absolutely. And make sure to look at the progress report this year for more information. Remember, everyone, that is the key to everything. It has all the information. Perfect. I think the question's, how's it going? Everyone.
I think that's the link to the progress report that you just mentioned.
Okay. But how is everyone going? How's everyone doing? Michael Schulman at Facebook. Who you all looking forward to meet? Ooh. There's too many people. I can't decide on one.
There's a lot. But I will say, I've already purchased a photo op for Christopher Eccleston.
Yes. That is perfect. What about you, Stephen?
Alex Kingston was announced, and I'm very tempted. I don't know how easy it would be to sign it, but we have the replica of her sonic screwdriver that I'd really like to get signed.
Ooh.
I guess a little tiny marker.
That would be lovely.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so exciting. What about you, Alex?
This is going to sound a little weird.
No,
but you promise?
I promise. I cross my fingers.
I'm really excited about meeting some of the new friends that I've made on our Discord since Goes Virtual.
Oh, yes, that's not weird at all. That's perfect. Coming back this year, we're we've been missing so much of our DragonCon community. To everyone to be able to get together again is just such a precious gift. And I know I'm super excited to see my team again in person. So that's the great answer. Great answer. All right. At Glenn G. Gordon, what cosplay have you seen in your past that you're hoping to see again? Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
I remember I saw someone create an entire Transformer suit, and it was so tall. It had to be like yay tall, and it was one of the coolest things I have ever seen. And I really hope they come back. Whoever you were about like 4 years ago, please come back and just at me, and I will come find you. That was so cool. What about everyone else?
There's so many.
There's one in particular from a few years ago that I really enjoyed, and it was a Night Vale costume based on the podcast, and it was the Glow Cloud, all hail, and she had made this large cloud around her with this structure, and in fact, it glowed and had lights that slowly pulsed, and it had little dangling from fishing line, small cows and other animals, because the Glow Cloud in the podcast drops animals instead of rain. And I was just incredibly pleased to see it in its construction, and I would love to see it again.
That sounds amazing. Oh, I can't wait for all the awesome costumes. What about you, Alex?
I don't even know where to begin. Just all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
You know what? For tonight, yes, all of them.
Okay.
All of them the option. I cannot wait to see everyone and everyone's hard work. I think that's my favorite thing about going and seeing all the cosplays. Just to, some people have worked so many years on some of these costumes, and for them to be able to show off their talent, it's one of my favorite parts of DragonCon. I can't wait. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm ready for all the Lokis this year.
Yes. There will be lots.
I want to see one alligator Loki. That's all I want. I just want someone in a huge alligator costume with the horns. Once again, if you show up as well, please come find me. At me. I will come find you to take a picture. I can't wait. All right. I believe that was our last question. And what a great question to end on. I want to say thank you to everyone for coming again. We have so much great content in store, and I cannot wait to see what everyone comes up with. So once again, we have Stephen Granade, the director of the Science Track, Alex Bardos, the director of Volunteer Systems, and Sue Phillips, the director of the Sci-Fi Lit Track, plus our incredible ASL interpreter, Teddy. Please, everyone give a round of applause for him. He's the real VIP of this event. Well, I've been your host, Katelyn. Tonight has been such a great fun. And guys, remember, 28 days. 28 days. We'll see y'all then.